With breaking news happening now, this is WKYT News.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Victor Puente.
And I'm Destiny Quinn. Welcome to WKYT Mid-Morning, live on air and streaming on WKYT Plus.
Oh, it is official. UK has fired Mark Stoops after 13 seasons. WKYT's Dave Baker is in studio with more. Dave?
Guys, we told you about it last night, and everything that was being done at that point in time was just finalizing the new buyout agreement. That was done overnight, and the announcement was made about an hour and a half ago. I know that meetings have already taken place between UK athletics officials and the outgoing staff, but the net result is that after 13 years, Mark Stoops is no longer the Kentucky football coach. It really looked like he was going to be able to make it, through what has been a difficult season after winning 3 games in a row in the middle of the season. But then when they had back-to-back blowout losses to Vanderbilt, and then Saturday was one of the most inexplicable things I've seen in all the time I've been around here. It just didn't happen. And so they actually started talking about stuff. Here's what you got to do. If you're the AD, you come to a decision about what you want to do. Then you've got to go to everybody in the university and see if you can do it. That includes administration, it includes boosters, and then that process begins. You've got to get everybody on board. And then what happened, and this is a key piece of it, Mark Stoops is due a $37 million buyout. Under the terms of his contract, that was due within 60 days after he was fired. They went to Stoops, and Stoops said, hey, we're going to play this out. It's probably, my understanding is probably going to be 5 or 6 years. And I mean, still, that's really good money. It actually helps him out from a tax standpoint because he's already made $9 million this year. He would have been looking at $46 million worth of taxable income this year. So what happens now is there was a scheduled meeting of the UK Athletics Committee of the Kentucky Board of Trustees. That was scheduled for 4:30 this afternoon. That has now been canceled. Why? Mitch Barnhart's out looking for a coach. And so that's what's happening now. Statements from Mitch Barnhart, Eli Capilouto were released just a little bit earlier. Stoops leaves as the winningest coach in Wildcat football history. And as I say that, to show you how tough this job is, that's just 3 games over 500, what he was for his career, 82 and 79. Attention will now focus on Will Stein, who is from Kentucky. He played his football at Trinity in Louisville, and he played for U of L. His dad played defensive end here for Jerry Claiborne. Another name to keep an eye out on in the coaching search is Mark Hartline, whose brother Mike played here at Kentucky. We'll keep you up throughout the day here on WKYT and on WKYT.com.
Dave, thank you. A lot of moving parts right there. Well, when we talked to fans Saturday, they supported a coaching change. This marks the 2nd straight year the Cats will miss a bowl game following last season's 4-8 record. Many fans left KS Bar before Saturday's game even ended.
My dad is one of the biggest UK football fans I know, and he was one of the people that left at halftime. So I think it's just incredibly, disappointing and disheartening for, fans that are here year after year.
Well, Saturday's final score, 41-0. Let's check in on weather now.
First Alert meteorologist Jim Caldwell is in the Weather Center. Jim, it's a First Alert weather day as we get ready for a wintry mix.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing bigger than the weather right now is the Stoops story, right? So we're going to be getting involved with that weather forecast, though, as the day plays out, especially later on. A winter weather advisory has been issued for these areas highlighted right here, and that does include Lexington. It stretches out to Ashland, everywhere in between along 64. Every inch of 64 in Kentucky is included in a winter weather advisory, so that's what we've got. You can see that it's also around Winchester down to Jessamine County as well, so you've got that there. No precipitation yet in Kentucky. There's some out there, and it is on the move, and it will continue advancing into our skies. You can see some of it right there. Some rain, wintry mix, and this is what takes aim at us a little later on. So timing for this, as we move forward, you can see we start off with a little rain, then it quickly makes that transition over to snow and continues into the overnight hours. That's going to be the timing for this, overnight and then early tomorrow morning, and then it's gone. But by that point, it could put some snow on the ground, maybe a little bit of freezing rain too, a little light glazing at least. We'll break it down in more detail coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Jim. Lexington police are investigating a shots fired incident. They found shell casings and property damage on North Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Officers didn't say what was hit by gunfire. They did say 4 people were in the area at the time. No one was hurt. They didn't have any suspect information, but said anyone involved would be charged with wanton endangerment and criminal mischief.
Lexington's Office of Homelessness Prevention has activated its winter weather plan through Friday. Emergency centers and overnight shelters are open to help people stay out of the cold. LexTran will offer free rides to shelters. The city's plan is activated when temperatures dip below freezing. We have more details about that plan right now inside our WKYT News app. Well, severe weather is slamming parts of the country as millions of Americans head home from celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday.
Snowstorms in the Northeast and Midwest crippled interstates and caused ripple effects on air travel nationwide. Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest.
The holiday season has arrived and winter weather has too. Mother Nature provided plenty of obstacles over the weekend for travelers trying to get home. As temperatures plummeted in Chicago, the region was blanketed by snow. At the airport, they recorded more than 8 inches, and delays started piling up too. This couple from Mississippi was supposed to be on a 5 a.m. flight that was canceled.
The next flight they booked us on leaves at 9:45 tonight.
The mess impacted air travel nationwide. At Dallas-Fort Worth, delays ticked up to 3 hours or more.
My flight is delayed today because flying north, it's getting a little snowy up there, but hopefully it's not a super big delay.
The winter weather stretched across much of the country, from Utah to Michigan.
Well, looks like a snow globe here.
To upstate New York. In Des Moines, Iowa, Saturday, a plane slid off a runway after nearly a foot of snowfall. Thankfully, no one was hurt. On I-70 in Indiana, 45 cars and trucks were caught in a pileup. No major injuries were reported, but it took several hours to clear the highway. But the snow did launch many into the holiday spirit. Mom Vanessa and her family recently moved to Rockford, Illinois from California and are learning to make snowballs.
It's really beautiful. I've never seen anything like it, but I like this more than triple-digit weather.
A little joy out in the cold as winter is just getting started. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Weather wasn't the only thing complicating air travel over the weekend. A JetBlue software update hit the system and forced the cancellations of at least 70 flights.
A car show at the Kentucky Expo Center this weekend to raise money to support the victims of the deadly UPS plane crash and their families. The Airplane Disaster Victims Relief Indoor Car Show was organized by a group of volunteers. Hundreds of custom cars, Jeeps, trucks, and bikes were on display. All proceeds go directly to the Team Kentucky Relief Fund to support those affected families.
I think it's great. I think it shows people that, real true car lovers, even though it's cold, weather ain't the best, still bring your car out, wipe on it, communicate with other people in the car world and, just network and whatnot. So I think it's pretty good.
Those in attendance hope that more events like this one can continue to help those affected by the tragedy.
As millions return from Thanksgiving holiday travel, doctors say the risk of getting sick could increase. They say one of the best things you can do is wash your hands. That includes before and after you eat or touch your face. They also recommend wiping down any highly touched surfaces. And they say if you haven't been vaccinated yet, now is the time to do so.
Especially for those that are elderly or have a compromised immune system. And I always like to add too, don't just consider about your own health status, but think about the health status of those around you.
If you're planning to travel abroad, ask your doctor about extra precautions like a measles booster. Experts say it can take about 1 to 2 weeks for a vaccine to take effect.
This past weekend was Small Business Saturday. It's been around since 2010, now in its 15th year. At the time, it was meant to boost small retailers who were hurting during the recession. West 6 Brewing tells us it's a time not just for the community to rally together, but also to foster and rekindle some relationships.
And we love to see people who are in our community come out and just not even just to support us, we love that relationship that we can create with these customers, and especially people that have been working here for a long time, those relationships that we're able to foster. And just being in the community.
Research from CNN says there are more than 33 million small businesses in the United States. For every 10 mom and pop stores in the country, 8 of them say the holiday season is the most crucial time of the year.
Lexington has officially kicked off the holiday season. The Jewish Federation of the Bluegrass lit the city's menorah last night. Then some familiar faces at WKYT helped light the city's Christmas tree. It's a tradition many look forward to every year.
It's so important for everyone in the community to gather and celebrate what brings us all together, and this is a great place to do it.
The next holiday tradition, the Downtown Lexington Holiday Parade, is Saturday at 11.
Some local nonprofits are sounding the alarm this holiday season. Organizations in Lexington and surrounding counties say they're worried about a drop in donations. In Bath County, the Christian Social Service Center launched an emergency food drive after SNAP cuts, all while preparing its annual Christmas program for families in need. Leaders fear tightened budgets could limit holiday giving. In Fayette County, Greenhouse 17 is not yet determined if donations will be affected. They are a domestic violence shelter. Executive director says many nonprofits prepare for potential shortfalls.
We are hopeful that people will still be able to meet the needs and the demands of our nonprofits, but we also realize that at any given time we may have to adjust. We may have to adjust how we serve, how many we're able to serve, what we're able to do for the individuals we do serve.
And leaders urge those unable to give money to consider volunteering some time.
Fayette County Public Schools is expanding a program to boost student confidence. 2 new school-based barber shops are set to open. Winburn Middle School is launching its barber shop today. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy will follow on December 15th. These shops will offer free grooming services to students. The goal is to enhance self-esteem and support a positive school culture. A similar barber shop is already operating at Tates Creek Middle. WKYT's 10th annual Pack the Lobby Drive with Mission of Hope is almost here.
Tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. you can drop off new toys, jackets, and hygiene items. That event is in partnership with Mission of Hope. We aim to collect 20,000 toys for children across Appalachia. You can drop off items at 2851 Winchester Road. Donors will get treats from Chick-fil-A and Donut Days.
Coming up on WKYT Mid-Morning, a surprise call with the Venezuelan president, why lawmakers are now demanding answers on U.S. military strikes.
And wintry weather, getting fired up and ready to march across Kentucky tonight, early tomorrow morning. We'll track the possible accumulation coming up.
Infinite worlds await.
Kia has 10 hybrid, electric, and plug-in hybrid utility vehicles to choose from. So no matter what you're looking for, the question isn't which vehicle to get, it's which Kia to get. Kia, movement that inspires.
Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Chicken noodle and spicy chili too. Butternut squash or ramen to stew. Because everything is better with better than bouillon. Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Chicken noodle, creamy rice, and more. Beef stir fry or fettuccine to adore. Because everything is better with better than bouillon.
It's Native. You need sulfate-free hair care that actually nourishes your hair. Like Native, clean and effective for thicker, fuller-looking hair.
Okay, Hercules.
It's not a myth. It's Native.
Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Breakfast casseroles and green beans with flair, prime rib or deviled eggs to share. Because everything is better with better than bouillon. Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Chicken noodle, creamy rice, and more. Beef stir fry or fettuccine to adore. Because everything is better with better than bouillon.
WKYT Plus.
Welcome back. President Trump is back in Washington, D.C. today after the Thanksgiving weekend.
He confirmed speaking with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, but offered no details. This comes as lawmakers call for reviews of U.S. military strikes on suspected drug boats. The U.S. has carried out nearly 24 strikes.
Because we consider Venezuela to be not a very friendly country. They sent millions of people, really, and probably a number in excess of that. And a lot of those people shouldn't be in our country, from jails, from gangs, from drug dealers.
A Washington Post report alleged Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered crew members killed in one attack. Hegseth called the report fabricated.
In Powell County, Stanton police are seeking information about thefts that happened Saturday morning. Take a look at your screen. Stanton police say this car is involved in those thefts. They were targeting unlocked vehicles in Stanton. Police say multiple theft reports have been called in. They are actively working to find the items that have been stolen. And the Menifee County Sheriff's Office is also warning people there to lock their vehicles. They're searching for a similar vehicle. They say the thefts there happened between 4 and 6 a.m. Thanksgiving. If you have any information, contact the Menifee County Sheriff.
Now, WKYT First Alert Weather with meteorologist Jen Caldwell.
A lot of cloud cover overhead right now, and that's really about it. Nothing falling from the sky just yet. And that's going to happen later on this evening, tonight, and through the overnight hours to get you into tomorrow. That's when most of the action is going to pick up the pace quite a bit. So this is your tower cam view, looking for 300 feet above the station and looking back toward downtown Lexington. And again, it just looks like a gloomy day. We get into downtown and we also pull up our temperature. It's still below freezing. It's 29. Cloudy skies. Feels like 23 though because of a little bit of wind, so you do have a wind chill. Winter weather advisory kicks in later on tonight, and then we'll run through tomorrow morning as well for everybody highlighted here in blue. And that's Lexington, that's Frankfort, that's Georgetown, that's Nicholasville, Versailles. You've got Harrodsburg included in on that. You go out to Moorhead. So you got quite a big space of area that's included. Right at this moment, we've got 20s and low 30s, like right on the 30-degree mark under the cloud cover. You get outside the cloud cover, it's a little sunnier, and you've got 32 and 33 degrees even in a couple of spots out there where it has been sunnier. But again, it's not going to be a super sunny day for us, but I do think we have a shot at seeing some of those numbers go up a little higher. Not much in the way of precipitation yet, but as I mentioned, here it is. I mean, it's all coming together and tracking right toward us. There's going to be a little overlay of some rain and a little wintry mix that comes into play as it gets here. And when that happens, you're going to get the wintry mix that gets involved. That means a little sleet or a little freezing rain. There could be a light glazing in all of this, and then you throw some snow on top of it. And 2 to 5 inches of snow, still what we're looking at and thinking here in Lexington. It's going to be a short window for all of this as it passes through our skies. But it's there. That's the thing. We're going to see it all start dropping in and then moving across Kentucky during that time. The end of the week, we're eyeing another system. Now, there's a shot that maybe it doesn't get deep into Kentucky and bring a lot of wintry weather. This run of the American model, most recent one, is keeping it mainly south and keeping it mainly rain at this point. So we have to continue to watch. But there's a follow-up system that starts dropping in that could bring in another shot of some rain and some snow with that as well. So it's just like we flipped a switch and we said, all right, let's ride the line a little bit. Let's get winter going. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here for a little bit. And when it calms down, it'll be cold. Snow will be on the ground. And you wait for the next chance, which could get here as early as Friday, Saturday.
Yikes.
Well, I didn't ask for this. I didn't.
No.
Oh, you said, oh, I want a white Christmas.
Oh, that's true. I did say I'd like some
We have a few more
snow.
weeks, Jeff.
Right, it didn't have to snow on the first, y'all. I mean, come on.
Like 25 days away.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Jim. Well, on the First Alert Weather Show, we'll talk more in depth about the forecast and weather-related stories in our area and around the globe. As ahead at 11 a.m., you can find it streaming on WKYT+. And get ready for Christmas music to take over the airwaves now that Thanksgiving is over.
And a new look at animals that roamed the earth during the Ice Age. Jared Hill has your eye on entertainment.
A Charlie Brown Christmas is celebrating a milestone anniversary, 60 years since the Peanuts holiday special aired on TV. Kraft Recordings is reissuing the show's soundtrack, the now well-known score from jazz pianist Vince Guaraldi. More holiday music for your playlist. Country crossover singer Leanne Rimes has a new release, Greatest Hits Christmas, ahead of her holiday tour.
Celebrating Christmas in the city.
And a cappella fans welcome another holiday album from Pentatonics with 18 new songs.
To the Ice Age.
Step back millions of years to see hyper-realistic computer images of the creatures that inhabited Earth. Catch the 5-part Prehistoric Planet Ice Age on Apple TV, the 3rd chapter of the Prehistoric Planet series.
Jesse here says that you fight in all pink.
And actress Sydney Sweeney stars in the movie Christy, based on the true story of boxer Christy Martin.
You the world champion right now.
Sweeney says she identifies with how Martin dealt with fame.
I mean, there's definitely some similarities there. You have a guard up. You never know what is going to happen or how you're going to feel. So I definitely relate to Christy.
Christy is out in theaters now. That's your eye on entertainment. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
It's a lot different than the usual role she takes.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's muscle for that.
Can't wait to see it.
Coming up on WKYT, the link between childhood obesity and heart disease. What can be done to reverse that risk?
And here's a look at your lottery jackpots. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $740 million. Tomorrow's Mega Millions jackpot is $90 million.
Your next breakdown could be anytime, anywhere.
Get covered today and make Endurance pay for it. It was like almost a $6,000 job. Endurance covered it.
Right now, you can get $300 off any plan. So call and get your free quote now.
At U-Haul, we know every family moves at their own pace.
Hi, Mom.
It's starting to snow. That's why we have U-Box. We can store it or ship it.
Thanks, you've been lifesavers.
How and when you want it. Reserve today at uhaul.com.
Anytime.
Welcome back. In today's health news, an added health benefit from a common vaccine.
And the pros and cons of popular weight loss drugs. Michael George has details and Better Living.
The World Health Organization has new guidelines on popular GLP-1 weight loss drugs. The global organization of health experts say GLP-1 therapies are effective, but there's limited long-term data on the drugs, and there are cost barriers that keep them from being an option for many. The WHO recommends using the drugs with behavioral therapy to maximize and sustain weight loss. The RSV vaccine may have an added benefit. It can help protect kids from asthma. A study in Denmark found that RSV, a common respiratory virus primarily affecting infants, is linked to asthma. But infants who received the RSV vaccine had a lower likelihood of developing asthma. Doctors say this is more evidence that parents should have their children vaccinated. Obesity in childhood is linked to heart disease later in life, but that risk can be reversed. A study in Sweden found that if children with obesity lose weight before adulthood, their risk for coronary disease later in life lowers. The study underscores the importance of addressing obesity in children before it affects their long-term health. Heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News.
Meteorologist Jim Caldwell's tracking the next big thing.
We are tracking a blast of winter weather later today. We're not into that mode yet, but by tonight, you start seeing the initial push of moisture. Now, it starts off as rain for some of us, according to all the data that continues to come in, but then we make a switch over to snow, and we get that for several hours. And see, the catch is with that snow, even though you're looking at it and you're saying, oh, well, it's not around for a long time, and it's not. But it's around just long enough, and there's enough intensity embedded within some of those bands that we could pick up the accumulation that we likely pick up, which is 2 to 5 inches around Lexington and points toward the north and east. So that's what most of us will see around Lexington. So watching this very tricky first real system of the season, that is the next big thing.
Thanks, Jim. Up next, new work rules could soon affect millions of SNAP recipients. Find out the new requirements on the horizon.
And a WKYT safety alert on the hidden dangers in your home as you decorate for the holidays.
WKYT Plus. Live, local, trusted. This is WKYT News.
Thanks for joining us here on WKYT Mid-Morning. We are live on air and streaming on WKYT Plus. I'm Victor Puente.
And I'm Destiny Quinn. It's a First Alert weather day as we get ready for a wintry mix to move in. Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It is certainly on the way for us later today. I think most folks that are at work will get home without any issue here. The typical 4, 5, 6 o'clock range, not a big problem. It's after that we start seeing some moisture stream in. Now it's a cloudy day and it's going to stay this way for the most part. And it's already cold. I mean, we're still locked in below freezing. It's 29 degrees outside. I've got winter weather advisory that stretches across Kentucky, except it's not every single county. I mean, it goes from northeast Kentucky out to far western Kentucky and even beyond that. And then you get south of Lexington and it goes away. However, I think we still have a chance to see some precipitation in those areas. It is a First Alert weather day, and accumulating snow and a little bit of ice possible. We'll look at those numbers coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Jim. Let's get to breaking news now. UK is firing head football coach Mark Stoops.
When we first brought this to you as breaking news last night, they made it official this morning.
WKYT's Dave Baker is in the studio with the latest. Dave.
Unbelievably active weekend on this front, guys, and it all started with that blowout loss to Louisville on Saturday. Even before that game was over, people in positions of authority were talking to themselves about, okay, where do we go from here? The decision was made, everybody got on board, and then yesterday, the big incident in this happened when Mark Stoops, who in his contract, if he was fired, was due $37 million within 60 days. He and his folks agreed to a longer buyout. I'm told somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 or 6 years. Still, UK will have to pay that out, but it ends a tenure which was, by the numbers, the most successful in UK history. And Stoops leaves. He had 1 point last year. The streak was broken of 8 straight bowl games. You can't discount that. But they got off to an awful start this season. And then they win 3 games in the middle of the season. And so the only other thing I can give you historically is the last time anybody was fired in season was when CM Newton decided to fire Bill Curry. However, he didn't do it until the Cats were no longer bowl eligible. So that kind of set the standard. And of course, Stoops was still bowl eligible until the final horn sounded on Saturday over in Louisville. So everybody got on board yesterday. UK made the official announcement just a little bit ago. There is a meeting, a regularly scheduled meeting of the UK Board of Trustees and all their committees, which includes the Athletics Committee. Mitch Barnhart was scheduled to have a presentation at that meeting this afternoon at 4:30. That has now been canceled because he is 150% focused on trying to find a new football coach. Time is of the essence. What happens is on Wednesday, that's the signing day. Already, since the Stoops firing, a couple of recruits who had committed to UK have now reopened their recruiting. And so literally every minute is vital to going forward with this football program. All attention turns to who's next. We'll talk about that coming up at noon and at 12:30 on the Afternoon Buzz. Guys?
Dave, thank you. A lot up in the air right now. Well, millions of SNAP recipients may soon have to meet new work rules to keep their benefits.
The Republican-backed Big Beautiful bill now requires at least 80 hours of activity each month for a much wider group of people. A Congressional Budget Office report says that will mean 2.4 million fewer people getting benefits on average each month. States are reporting confusion, rushed timelines, and technology systems not ready to implement the change. As a result, some recipients could lose food aid as soon as January. State officials warned the full impact will unfold as recipients hit their next recertification deadlines. Let's get to a WKYT safety alert. The weekend after Thanksgiving is one where many of us choose to start decorating for Christmas. That's why healthcare workers want to remind you how to keep your kids safe during the holidays. Norton Children's Hospital in Louisville says their Kentucky Poison Center gets calls related to decorations every year. One of their biggest concerns are plants like holly, mistletoe, and Jerusalem cherry. All of those have toxic berries that can fall to the floor. Some snow globes contain antifreeze, which can be dangerous if they break. Older ornaments and bubble lights can carry chemicals like lead or mercury. Norton Children's says one of the best things you can do is keep an eye on your children whenever you introduce anything new to your home.
Whether it's something they get as a present, whether it's something you got as a present, if it's new in the household, they might try to give it a lick, a taste. The good news is that we are open 24/7.
Experts say if a child ingests something, don't try to get them to throw it up. Instead, call poison control.
The annual debate between real and artificial Christmas trees may come down to cost this year. That's because over 80% of the artificial trees are made in China. And tariffs are pushing prices up about 10 to 15%. The American Christmas Tree Association says they are seeing more retailers bear the brunt of that cost. But for many of those real tree retailers, that hasn't changed. And while a fake tree often lasts longer, they say getting a real tree will also benefit the environment.
Fake trees actually take about 10 years. You have to use them for about 10 years before they overcome the impact to the environment.
Now, real tree supporters also say there are additional benefits, including the distinctive smell and the nostalgic experience of selecting and decorating a fresh tree.
Fire leaders are issuing winter safety warnings as temperatures drop after several house fires across central and eastern Kentucky. This comes after incidents in Lexington, Somerset, and Moorhead over the holiday period. The causes are still under investigation. Firefighters say it's important to make sure you aren't overloading outlets or using the wrong extension cords. They also say it's common to see people heating their homes in ways they're not meant to.
First responders, we go help EMS and we see the oven door halfway open or all the way open, and the coils inside are just red hot. And that's because their furnace isn't working, or they're out of gas, or they're out of wood for the wood stove, so to speak. And that's the only thing they got.
Firefighters say another thing to keep in mind is an annual chimney or furnace inspection. Installing smoke detectors is another important step. Many departments will install them for free.
Well, it's a big weekend for UK volleyball as they learn their spot in the NCAA tournament. The Wildcats earned the #2 seed overall in the tournament. They'll be the #1 seed in the Lexington Regional. UK, alongside Nebraska, Texas, and Pittsburgh, earned the top 4 seeds in the tournament, meaning they can host all the way up to the NCAA Final Four if they are still alive in that tournament. NCAA tournament play gets underway Thursday night inside historic Memorial Coliseum. The Cats will host Wofford at 7 p.m. Tickets went on sale today at 10 a.m. You can go to ukathletics.com and at the UK ticket office. WKYT's 10th annual Pack the Lobby toy drive starts tomorrow.
It's now running on a 2-hour delay because of the weather. It'll start at 8 a.m. We'll pack the lobby with toys, coats, and hygiene items for thousands of children across Appalachia. It's in partnership with Mission of Hope. Executive Director David Heatherly says it's important that children get their needs met for the holidays.
You know, this year's going to be a little special. We've had all of the issues with food, SNAP benefits that have been affecting our region. Well, that plays into the idea of, do I want to eat, or do I want to have a toy or a jacket or hygiene? And so what we want to make sure is we're going to fill that gap.
Once again, the drive now runs from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can drop off new toys, coats, and hygiene items at 2851 Winchester Road. Donors can get treats from Chick-fil-A and Donut Days.
Coming up on WKYT Mid-Morning, millions of Americans headed home after Thanksgiving ran into a wall of severe weather. How winter storms are slamming parts of the U.S.
And we could be next with some of that wintry weather here later on tonight and through the early morning hours tomorrow. I'm tracking in just a few minutes.
Infinite worlds await.
You've got a subscription for streaming movies and music, maybe even one for food. A plan from HomeServe is like a subscription for peace of mind. When a covered system breaks, we'll send a qualified contractor and pay for the repair.
Plans from HomeServe start at just $4.99 a month.
Vehicle breakdowns are costly, but with Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000 engine replacement.
Call right now to get $300 off any plan. Call now.
We the People.
Welcome back. Baristas at a Lexington coffee shop want to unionize. 3rd Street stuff and coffee workers say they're organizing for better working conditions.
The effort comes as workers say they feel their voices aren't being heard. WKYT's Jackson Plank spoke with the group's lead organizer. He explains what they want you to know.
We feel as though we have a valuable perspective from months and in some cases years being on the floor at 3rd Street, knowing the ins and outs.
Aubrey Smith and his colleagues want a seat at the table. They want the ability to address concerns and help influence decisions. But right now, Smith says that isn't the case.
We feel as though our perspectives and our ideas and our thoughts have not been utilized to their best ability.
According to Smith, there have been problems that staff feel ownership have not handled or handled effectively. He says right now, cleaning protocols are up to each individual worker, adding that they are lacking a uniform cleaning standard and even some of the equipment themselves.
We want a mop. We kind of have to figure out our own ways of cleaning the floors and get a little, I would say, overly creative with how we do that sometimes.
He says right now, cleaning protocols are up to each individual worker, adding that they lack a uniform cleaning standard and even some of the equipment themselves. Smith mentions they are unionizing around 3 demands. First, they want better formal communication between staff and ownership. Second, workers want real physical breaks. Smith says there are times when workers don't get breaks or don't get a complete break. And third, they want standard protocols established. Smith believes by unionizing around these demands, they can create a better future for themselves and 3rd Street.
This isn't about us like squeezing blood from a stone. We really just want to improve the working conditions, and we want to feel safe and respected and like our voices are being heard.
Reporting in Lexington, Jackson Plank, WKYT.
3rd Street coffee baristas are not demanding a pay change. We have reached out to the shop's owner. We haven't heard back. Severe weather is slamming parts of the U.S. as millions of Americans are heading home from celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday.
That mess impacted air travel nationwide. At Dallas-Fort Worth, delays were up to almost 3 hours or more. In Iowa, a plane slid off the runway after nearly a foot of snowfall. In Indiana, 45 cars and trucks were piled up. Now, no one was hurt in either case, but it took several hours to clear the highway. See that mess there on your screen. However, the winter weather did put some in the holiday spirit.
It's really beautiful. I've never seen anything like it, but I like this more than triple-digit weather.
The weather wasn't the only thing complicating air travel over the weekend. A JetBlue software update hit the system and forced the cancellations of at least 70 flights.
Now, WKYT First Alert Weather with meteorologist Jen Caldwell.
And we're going to run into some issues around here as well with some of the wintry weather that will be moving through later on this evening, tonight, and through the early morning hours tomorrow. And as it stands right now, we are in the 20s and 30s throughout the area. Most of us still below freezing, a couple spots that are above it. Wind chill readings out. They just grab a hold of you. Got a bite in most cases, with a 23 showing in Lexington, 24 there in Danville. Winter weather advisory is out for all of the areas highlighted in blue. I think everybody has a form of wintry precipitation, but the deeper into southern and southeastern Kentucky you get, the lighter the amount and the lower the impact is going to be in those spots. But look at the big picture. I can already see the moisture. It's just out west. I mean, it's in Missouri, snowing all over Missouri right now, and back into Kansas and even some down toward Arkansas as well. It's a first alert weather day, starting with really tonight, the timing on this. I think a lot of the initial batch gets going somewhere between about 8 and 11 p.m., and then it'll carry forward through about 10 to noon. And that's going to be out east. Most of us in Lexington, it should be gone by mid-morning, maybe even earlier than that, falling from the sky. You get all types. Central Kentucky, 2 to 5 inches or so of snow, 1 to 2, in between 64 and like the Hal Rogers Parkway or the Cumberland Parkway, and then that general area. I'll show you a map in a second so you can get a better idea of this. So here's your day. And that's some 40s out there trying their best to get into play. Then you get the push of moisture. Well, I'll tell you what, if the cold stays like it's trying to stay right now, This could drive that line a little bit more to the south, and we could start off with snow a little bit quicker, even around Lexington and points to the north. Notice how the shading gets really deep into these other colors, and it goes from the light to a little darker. That is telling me and telling you that it's going to be a little heavier. Some intense bands of snow will be embedded within that. So that helps push the numbers up a little bit. So that's one version. I'm going to give you another look. This is known as the European model, and by 10 o'clock it's snowing in Lexington, and it's still snowing at 2 a.m. and continues. There's your heavy bands again. See, both data sets, and a lot of them out there, I can't show you every single one of them, but a lot of them are going with that heavy band that will try to set up shop, and then it fades away the deeper it gets into eastern Kentucky, meaning that impact is going to be a little bit lower. 2 to 5 inches here, 1 to 2-ish just south of that, and then you go to the coating to an inch, maybe. Here's your full 10-day forecast. We're watching that one, and then after this one gets out of the map, we'll watch another one for the weekend. There's actually 2 parts to that, so there's a chance something could ride up and give us something Friday, Saturday, then there's another drops in Sunday. So all of a sudden it's wintertime, okay?
Yeah.
It's here.
That's what you need to take away from this.
Get used to being in the 30s, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and plenty of activity.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Well, WKYT's First Alert Weather Show airs tonight at 6:30. We'll talk all things weather on the only show of its kind in the region. It'll be on the CW Lexington and streaming on WKYT Plus. You can watch it every weekday.
Well, the holidays are a time for friends and family to come together.
And for some people, the line between the two is blurred. Local News Live's Joshua Skinner brings us the story of 2 classmates who helped each other through their cancer battles.
Like any duo of friends, Camilo Henao and JP Thomas aren't above giving each other a hard time.
Did you dry your hair well? Or is that just like the fuzzy part?
But it was no joking matter in May when JP's health began to decline.
One day I noticed that my knee started hurting.
What doctors thought might be a meniscus tear from playing tennis turned out to be something much worse.
There were like spots all over my body, like I had on my skull, shoulders, arms.
Burkitt's lymphoma, a rare type of pediatric cancer. Treatment began immediately at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, with Camilo, his Whitfield Academy classmate, at his side.
I was like, dang, that has to suck.
JP leaned on God and took the whole thing in stride.
He never said, why is this happening to me? This sucks, nothing.
What JP did not take in stride was as his treatment concluded, Camilo's began.
I took more pain to finding out that he was diagnosed with cancer rather than me.
First week was the worst week I've ever had in my life.
And so the roles reversed. Now JP, cancer-free, had a decision to make.
Why would I have the joy of ringing the bell when my friend is still going through the same thing that I went through?
That was a lot for a 15-year-old too. That says a lot about his heart.
So JP supported, until last Friday, when they both rang the bell together.
We got a lot of our friends out of school early. We got like half the grade out.
And a friendship bound by something deep inside, and a good joke.
We joked about losing hair a lot.
Yeah, my brother the other day made a joke on me. See Michael Jordan in my head.
In Smyrna, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
Bank. Bank better.
Welcome back to WKYT. We're joined by Lieutenant Chris McFarland, the recruiting officer for the Lexington Fire Department.
He's here today to talk about how people can join the team and become a part of this vital service to our community. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We want to thank you for the work that you do because you keep so many people safe. What does this job entail?
So my job is to make sure that we put out the information about Lexington's public safety and how amazing of an opportunity that is, both for all of our divisions, but especially the fire department. We hire around 40 candidates a year for our recruit academy, and that's just due to people retiring and moving on. And so we just opened our application up on Thanksgiving, gave us a little time to advertise through the holidays. That application will close on January 30th. We will start the hiring process then, and it goes throughout the year and leading up to a chief selection, and then they would get an offer from the city to join. So,
what are you all looking for when it comes to new recruits?
Well, we're looking for young men and women between ages 19 and 34. A lot of that's based on our pension numbers, but we're just looking for people that have a big heart and open mind that want to work hard. I think our society just needs people that are willing to go that extra little bit, and so that's who we're looking for. We're looking for people that are motivated. Our career is a 25-year career or more, and you're a student the entire time. And the time you get hired on through the academy, even we have 20 and 30-year firefighters that'll tell you they're still students of their craft. They're trying to make themselves better, and our whole program is designed around that, trying to make new training opportunities, make you better. And what a great opportunity. I never even had a fire truck as a kid, never would have suspected this is what I've done, and now I found that this is exactly what I was supposed to do. A lot of opportunities with the fire department, but in the academy they become an EMT, all their firefighter certifications, and they can go to paramedic school. Our paramedic academy, most places you have to pay to go to that. Yeah. Our paramedic students are actually getting paid to go to it. So great opportunity, and I tell people all the time, like, you'll never see a sign in the window that says no more paramedics needed. We're always going to need those. So just another opportunity. We have tuition reimbursement programs, a lot of things that you can do to make yourself better, make the community better, and make the fire department better.
If someone's interested in joining, how do they get in touch with you?
So we have a couple ways. We have a LFD hiring Facebook page. That is one way, but the ultimate way is to go to lexingtonfiredepartment.com. It is our official landing page for the department, and our applications on there. But it's great for families, great for the applicant itself, just to look and see what kind of information about our pension, about our health benefits, our pay scales, things like that. All that information is on our website, and then link to apply is on there as well.
Go in there and get all the information. Thanks so much for coming and talking to us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Keep it here on Mid-Morning.
Don't wait. Call Greenbox today.
So we're right around the corner from getting our first decent shot of snow for several people.
Here we go.
I know we had that light event, a couple of Mondays ago, but
a little scattering.
This one's going to be a little different. This one's going to have more potential and could be very problematic for travel tomorrow morning. As a matter of fact, we've even delayed the start time of our
Pack the Lobby.
Pack the Lobby
Push it
event.
back a little bit, give people more time.
Yeah, starting at 8 a.m. rather than the
8
6
to
a.m.
7.
So because it could be tricky out there tomorrow morning.
Take it slow.
Thanks for watching.
The First Alert Weather Show is streaming next on WKYT+. We'll see you back here at noon.
While you're cruising